What's up, guys? So we've got a lot to get through here on our monthly symbols video, so let's just get into it. So our tree for the month is the holly tree, and as per usual, the site that I use for this is quite extensive on the significance of the holly tree to the Celtics, who sort of saw it as, at least in one version that I found of the Celtic zodiac, particularly the trees. In one version of it, this is the tree for the month, or at least for this particular cycle of the moon. Then we've got our two flowers. We've got the larkspur and the water lily. We've then got the ruby as our gemstone, and then we'll finish off with a little recap on Cancer. Some little teasers still to come for our Leo video later in the month. So, the holly tree. In the Om, it stated that the holly tree was the best in the fight, since it helped balance both the positive and negative aspects of the self, thus revealing a new direction. It was believed to restore lost energy and bestowed the strength needed to continue toward a resolution. Despite its prickly leaves, which, if we're going to be metaphorical, can just be like a rough exterior, call it resting bitch face if you want. You've got this like apparently unapproachable exterior for one reason or another, but the prickly leaves often afford protection to the tree during the winter. Likewise, it could just be what you've built up to protect yourself from particularly cold people, where we're seeing the metaphorical sense come into this. But despite that, the holly tree offers empathy and understanding within its branches, and is often associated with goodwill and love, which are some virtues of certain gods and goddesses within the Tuatha De Danann. The empathy and understanding within its branches, if we're going to go full metaphorical here, anyone like within your inner circle, you can sort of see them as like little birds that built a nest within your branches. They are the people you care about, they are the people that you offer your empathy and understanding to, and who one would hope, considering you've got goodwill and love also associated with you, would mean if you hear something negative about them, or a particular issue that involving them, you go and ask them their side of the story as well. I have a friend at the moment dealing with pretty much the exact situation, except the person that heard these things about them didn't ask them their opinion and started going off at them. It was a fun issue to help them deal with. When Celtic chieftains chose a successor, that successor was crowned with a holly wreath, and branches of the tree were carried by Celtic men for good luck. The holly tree was said to ease thoughts of jealousy and mistrust while providing protection from evil spirits. Also reputed to tame wild beasts, babies were bathed in water from its leaves in order to protect them from harm. I will be coming back to the bit about the chieftains and the holly wreaths in just a second, and we'll be able to figure out why in the middle of the next sentence. The holly, also known as bat's wings and Christ's thorn, was thought to repel enemies, and warriors would carry cudgels and fashion spear shafts made of its wood. As a symbol of good luck and good fortune, the holly tree was the evergreen twin of the oak in Celtic mythology. And so where the oak rules the light part of the year, the holly tree rules the dark part of the year, presumably therefore the coming season's northern hemisphere here, of autumn and winter being the dark half. Obviously, as the light gets lesser and lesser. And considering that this is coming just after the summer solstice, again, the northern hemisphere, that means that the light is going to, from that point, get lesser and lesser until the winter solstice, which is roughly around about when Christmas is. The holly also represents the eternal evergreen aspects of Mother Earth, which coincidentally lines up with our tarot card for the month. Although it does not line up with, we've got Cancer for most of this month, and the sign that has its ruling, like the card that has its ruling sign is actually the High Priestess, which was the card before the Empress, and we won't get to Cancer and Leo this year, I don't think. Let me just double check. We got August, September, October, November. No, okay, so there will literally be the November and December cards. So that's as far as we're going to get into it. November and December cards are our Cancer and our Leo cards. So it doesn't line up with that card. Usually it's just been coincidence of how my doing these videos has worked out. Along with ivy and mistletoe, holly is regarded as a potent life symbol by virtue of its year-long foliage and winter fruits. Its wood is also formerly one of the 3 timbers used in the construction of chariot wheel shafts. The ancient name for holly was Holm, as in like Sherlock Holmes, except without obviously Sherlock or the ES at the end. And with the coming of Christianity, it became known as the Holy Tree, symbolic of the crown of thorns. And hopefully we all got there when I mentioned that holly was also known as Christ's thorn. Especially since I mentioned that they're becoming the chieftains, or the kings, and their holy wreaths, the circles of its branches on their heads. There is a lot more here, including, obviously I've mentioned that it's got its evergreen foliage. It does have some significance during Yule and the midwinter celebrations. There's a whole bit here about in Christian lore and mythology and stuff. It's a very interesting read. And if you are interested in it, the link is in the description down below. It should be the top one. Go and enjoy it. Gosh, I need to have a little sip of water. Awesome. Okay, so the larkspur comes from the genus Delphinium, which means dolphin, and that's about as far as we can go with that one. The water lily comes from the family? Yes, the family Nymphaeaceae, and in its symbolism in Sangam literature and Tamil poetics, it's considered to evoke imagery of the sunset, the seashore, and the shark, probably due to the fact that it's a flower that pops out of the water like a shark fin. But when you've got 2 flowers that give off this imagery of arguably 2 of the largest sort of animals that humans frequently have contact with as far as the ocean's concerned. Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence. Still kind of interesting though. The ruby's going to give us a fair bit of a run around. I can give you the long and short of it very quickly, actually. Many cultures have long considered ruby a stone of kings. Some consider it a stone of warriors because of the fact that it's red like blood. I think it's... who was it? Burmese. Let me start with the B. The ancient Burmese would actually physically insert it into their flesh in order to gain the benefit of invulnerability, which they believed that rubies bestowed upon people, because they believed that it would keep them safe from spears, swords, or guns. Now I don't know where in ancient Burma guns come into this, but apparently they are. However, with the spears and swords, you're likely feeling invulnerable due to the fact that you've got gemstones physically inserted into your skin, and the swords are hitting those instead of your actual flesh, maybe. So of course you'd be invulnerable in a fight if that was the case. The only way to kill you would be to actually like stab you between the gemstones, as well as trying to get around like your bones and stuff as well. apparently has an inner light. There are some stories saying that rubies can create their own light, and that they are also thought to have a fire within them. So if you place a ruby in a pot of cold water, it's apparently supposed to bring water to a boil, as well as there are some stories that supposedly tell of the concept of gems as sentient beings in their own right may seem unusual. However, the belief that jewelry has feelings isn't dissimilar. So there were theories that rubies could actually think for themselves and were sentient, which is why they were able to bestow upon people the gifts of they also help with the accumulation of wealth and help seek out other gemstones. So if you're wanting healing crystals, it's a good idea. The Hindus regard the ruby as the king of precious stones. So again, a lot of royalty going on here. It's more valuable than any other gem. The Mani Mala describes the Kalpa tree, a symbolic offering to the Hindu gods, as composed entirely of precious gems made of sapphires, diamonds, topazes, emeralds, and other gems. This magnificent tree would bear rubies as its fruit. And if you were to give a ruby in offering to the god Krishna, goddess, I'm not entirely sure about Hindu gods. Please forgive my ignorance. I'm still trying to teach myself a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like Krishna's a female. I don't know. But if you worshipped Krishna with a ruby, you were apparently reborn. You will be an emperor or a king. Which, considering that reincarnation doesn't guarantee you being a human again, could come back as like a lion, which is still pretty cool. If you were to dream about rubies, it would indicate success in your business ventures. So obviously, if a king dreamt of rubies, he'd have great joy and fortune for when he bring that upon his kingdom stuff, because that's his business, and anyone trying to invade any of his enemies would begin to fear him more, because obviously he'd be acclimating more wealth in the form of power, and the more powerful your enemy is and the larger their army is, the harder it is to defeat them. But likewise, for like a farmer or a tiller of the soil, it would mean a good harvest. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a king's stone. It can also just be a stone of success. So with such a long and varied history, this is the closing paragraph for this page. The link to the full thing is in the description down below, but it's a long one. If I sat here and read it all, we'd be here for ages. So we've got such a long and varied history. It's no wonder the ruby has acquired such a mystique. We all want our things to be the very best. Of course, ruby owners have a vested interest in their possessions, which feels like a polite way of saying materialistic. Feels like. But the ruby has the reputation and beauty to back such claims. You want a gem to increase your wealth, impress your rivals, and protect you from harm. All legends point to the ruby. Cool. Let's do this. Alright, so Cancer, obviously the symbol is the crab. I'm not sure if I did this particular page. I may have, but not on the computer when I did my Cancer video. So a crab is able to walk or run sideways, and so similarly Cancerians can sometimes be seen to be moving about life in a figurative sense, in an indirect manner, which means that they're not always taking the obvious path to achieve their goals, but they are still sort of achieving their goals. They have the action and the drive, the dynamism being the cardinal sign, to accomplish that. Similar to how a crab's body is covered in a carapace, which is its little shell on its back, Cancerians are self-protective and sensitive and can often retreat into themselves when they're hurt, which retreating into yourself feels more like a turtle thing, but well, you have a shell you can hide under it, I guess, as well as if you've ever tried going crabbing, crabs tend to try to run away from you to begin with. It's only once you've sort of backed them up into a corner that they'll actually try to attack you. Depending on species, I'm supposing. I haven't really gone crabbing. There's just obviously a lot of crabs in the rocks near the beaches that I climb on. Crabs are able to resist changes in the environment, thereby protecting themselves from hostile elements in various habitats. Similarly, Cancerians thought to avoid too much change and to be on the defensive. They can have complex behavioural patterns, and their inner world is thought to be rather complex. Some Cancerians conceal themselves by decorating their body with plants and animals, which could just be piercings and tattoos. Are we saying that more likely? But wait, let me rephrase that. Are we saying that it's more likely for a Cancerian to get a tattoo or a piercing than it is for any other sign? Is that what we're saying here? Because I don't think that's accurate. Just putting that out there. Cancerians also try to blend in with their environment, preferring not to make a big splash in life. They don't want to be the centre of attention. They're just here to do their work and go home. Okay? Cool. The constellation, which was on the thumbnail for that video, it's also linked down below. It does not actually show the full constellation. The full constellation has the two stars down the bottom, and they sort of, if you're drawing lines between them, they sort of intersect at another star, which is right next to it, right next to another one, which then splits up to other stars, resulting in, especially if you're looking at this particular page, this is the Cafe Astrology page, you'll see the little square. It looks like a crab with 4 legs and 2 little eyes just looking at you. Kind of cool. As a water sign, along with Scorpio and Pisces, Cancerians are emotional and intuitive, and as I said before, they've got the action and the dynamism, the drive from being a young Cancer sign. Cancer also sits on the northern tropic, the parallel of that one, latitude. Its flowers include the water lily, hence its inclusion in this video. Its ruling planet is the moon. If you've gone into the extensive, like we went into extensively before, it represents our personal needs, our basic habits and reactions, our emotions, the unconscious, our inner child and inner mother. It's spontaneous and instinctual reactions. It's a mediator between the inner and the outer world. It's responsive, receptive, and reflective, and so similar to our next sign, which has the sun as its planet, where the sun acts, the moon reacts. The glyph for the moon is a crescent, which sort of shows the receptiveness. The glyph of Cancer itself is supposed to represent breasts, symbolising the nurturing qualities of Cancerians. Its gem is the pearl, which was one of last month's stones. Its metal is silver. In between the metal being silver, the planet being the moon, as we looked in the moon, when we were doing the camp video, we looked at the moon, it was something about spirit animals sort of sat under the moon as well. Can't help but notice the werewolf symbol in there as well. Cancer is related to the colours violet, silver and white, even though white's not technically a colour. And its house association is the fourth house, which if you remember is the house of home and family. It's also, and I didn't mention this on my other videos on the star signs themselves, but I'm going to be making one when I finish Pisces, like next year sort of thing. But the houses can have their own modalities as well. So while Cancer might be a cardinal sign, its house is an angular sign, being the one, those being basically the cardinal signs, effectively. And sort of just sort of cementing in the fact that the cardinal signs are the ones that sit on either the tropics, which is the northern and southernmost point of the elliptical of the zodiac, or they sit on the actual celestial equator, like Aries and Libra do. For some weird reason, despite sitting on the top, like the northernmost tropic, the cusp of the fourth house is a special angle called Imam Cayley, which roughly translates to the bottom of the sky. Go figure. And is also called the Nadir, which again just basically means the lowest point. And I think that might be because of the way the planet wobbles. When people say the planet wobbles, it really doesn't. It's just stuck at a particular degree, and that's how it moves around the sun. That's how we get our seasons. But anyway, yeah, because of the wobble, I'm assuming that means that at a certain time of the year, the northern hemisphere is actually seeing the Tropic of Capricorn, like the sign of Capricorn, higher in the sky than they do the star sign of Cancer. I'm assuming. I wouldn't know it in the southern hemisphere. Right, let's finish this off, and we're doing really well for time, by the way. But let's finish this off with a little bit of stuff to do with Leo. Obviously not going as in depth as I just did for Cancer, because we gotta leave something for that video. Alright, so your modality is fixed, which Taurus had before you. Your element is fire, which Aries had before you. And this makes you the first sign to actually repeat elements from 2 star signs. I thought someone might be coming in. Its astrological ruler is the sun. It's celestial ruler. I'm gonna stop saying ruling planets. Celestial ruler, because the sun and the moon aren't planets. Its season is obviously summer for the northern hemisphere. It's the 5th sign of the zodiac, which means it's the 5th house, which I have had a little look at before this video, and it looks really fun. It's going to be a good one to get into. Your metal, if silver goes with the moon, obviously gold goes with the sun. Your stone is the ruby, hence. And similarly, if Cancer can have silver as its metal and a colour, you're obviously going to have gold as one of your colours, orange is the other one, so it's just a coincidence. Okay, it's just a coincidence that I chose orange for this month. As far as the anatomy is concerned, the heart is yours, and some keywords for all of you Leos out there: magnanimous, generous, hospitable, caring, warm, authoritative, active, and open. So that's going to be a really cool video to get into when we get to the new moon and the start of Leo. It's going to be a really fun one to get into. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me, and the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.